Hey y'all, it's me, Alex, my longest cosplays. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. You might be wondering, Alex, why are you wearing a Green Lantern suit? We've never seen this on the channel before. Well, I have a really good answer for that. See, I was inspired by Eric over at SideQuest Comics. He did a video where he was challenged by someone to pull out a bunch of Green Lantern books and just show them off. So I figured, hey, I'm a pretty big Green Lantern fan. Like 45% of my collection is Green Lantern books. Why not talk about 10 of my favorites? So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I stayed up until like 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday, or I guess this morning, just writing down all of the Green Lantern books that I wanted to talk about. It took me a shocking amount of time to really decide because I don't want to just show off the keys. I mean, I have first Guy Gardner, first John Stewart. I have the New 52 #1 misprint. I have all that. But it'd be too obvious to show all those off. And, I've stated this before, I like a lot of the niche books, the ones that you can find in the dollar bins, the one that no one talks about. So there are a few keys here, and I'll bring them up when they come along, but just know that this isn't all keys. It'd be too obvious. So, let's get straight into it here. At the number 10 spot, we got Green Lantern Volume 4. This is issue 53. No significance whatsoever. No significance whatsoever. You want to know why this is on the list? This is the very first Green Lantern book that I ever got and that I ever read. I bought this. It had to have been in like 2019, 2020, uh, on Amazon. It was a part of a mystery box of comics. There was like 10 books in there, and this was one of them. And this was one of the like my first introduction to Green Lantern in the comics. Because I knew about the movie and I've seen him appear in like Robot Chicken, but I didn't really know anything about Green Lantern until I read this book. And I loved the story, I loved the art, so naturally I dove into the older books and read, I've the book that this is in, the run that this is in, I read the entire thing in like I want to say a couple of days, maybe, because I was just that immersed in the story, and this is the book that helped me fall in love with Green Lantern as a character. So it's very special to me, um, in that regard. At the number 9 spot here, we got a little bit of a cooler book, maybe, to some people. But this is Green Lantern Emerald Dawn. This is issue 6. If you've played the first Injustice game, you might recognize this a little bit as um, it's not exact, but the Green Lantern victory screen looks like this cover here. No key significance either. Um, but this was the final issue in the post-crisis Green Lantern origin story. When they did it back, I want to say this was in 1990. Um, and you got the legendary Mark Bright doing the pencils, and Klaus Janson, I believe he did the inks. They both did this cover too. Um, and it's just an incredible book. I mean, if you haven't read this, it's 6 issues long. You could read Emerald Dawn too. It's not necessary, but it's still a fun read. But Emerald Dawn here, 1 through 6. I mean, it's a great retelling of Hal's origin story. Um, and I just love everything Mark Bright draws with Green Lantern. It's usually some of the first art that I think of when I think of Green Lantern. So had to put this book in there. It's just a really cool cover and a great story, so why the hell not? At the number 8 spot here, we got Green Lantern. This is Volume 2, Issue 164. Green Lantern the Barbarian. This one makes me think of Conan. Um, I actually just got this book, Conan the Barbarian. It's 115. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. Iconic John Buscema cover. I mean, you've seen it. If you've seen a picture of Marvel Conan, you've seen that. This cover, I don't think it's like supposed to be homaging Conan. If it is, let me know. But it makes me think of the poses are close, are like very close. Um, And I also just really like the story in here. I mean, Hal Jordan conjuring up barbaric weapons and fighting evil with them. I mean, that's awesome. And if you're a big fan of like the alien Green Lantern Corps, like I am, this is the first appearance of Green Man. He's a Green Man. He also, I believe, he's appeared in I think he appeared in the movie as well. I think I could be wrong. I mean, that movie also has Rotlop Fan, and he's one of the coolest ones because he's got a bell for a logo instead of the lantern symbol. But this is cool. Nothing significant about this one except for the first appearance of Green Man. Um, this next one is probably even less significant here. This is Green Lantern Volume 3, Issue 3. Want to know why this is on here? Howard Jordan's punching the ever-living shit out of Guy Gardner. What more could you possibly want? I mean, it seems that Guy Gardner can take a beating from just about fucking anybody. Hal Jordan kicks his ass. Batman kicks his ass. I mean, this is great. There's a few other covers in this run that are like just very like silly and outrageous. I'll put them on the screen somewhere as like honorable mentions because they didn't make the cut. I was very close between this one and it'll be on the screen here, but the one with Flash and his big brain or whatever because they seem to love doing that. It was very close between those two, but I ruled out with this one because I mean it's it's amazing. What more could you possibly want? What more could you possibly want? This one here is significantly cooler than the other two than these other ones. This is Green Lantern Silver Surfer Unholy Alliances #1. It was a one-shot Marvel and DC did, where Kyle Rayner, the current Green Lantern during this time, and Silver Surfer team up and fight each other's bad guys. Um, usually like these two are like some of the first cosmic heroes you think of, so it makes sense that they teamed up. And I actually have this book signed by the artist Daryl Banks. Um, and yeah, if you haven't read this book, this is a crossover story where Kyle Rayner fights the Herald of Galactus at the time. I believe his name was Terrax, and the Silver Surfer fights Cyborg Superman, the same one that destroyed Coast City. Um, and this one doesn't have as much impact on either the Silver Surfer or Green Lantern stories and their main continuities. So you can read this, by itself, and you'll be chill. Like it's a really good read. I really like it. Um, I remember for a while there was a point in time where I wanted to read a bunch of Silver Surfer books, but I never got around to it. Looking at this cover again and, refreshing my mind on the story, man, it really does make me want to go and read some Silver Surfer. So I might just do that next year. I'd say this year, but I already have a whole schedule of books I'm reading, but we'll see. But yeah, this is a I mean, legendary cover. If you ever get to meet Daryl Banks, I'm pretty sure he has this cover somewhere. Um, like as a print, maybe. Or I mean, if you find this book, I mean, you can get this for relatively cheap. I think I only got this for a couple of dollars at a convention or whatnot. So, you know, it's a really good book here. At the #5 spot, I had to make sure I pulled the right one out. This is Green Lantern Volume 2. This is issue number 20. This won't be the oldest Green Lantern showed on here. Um, but again, nothing too significant about this. Um, this is an oldie but a goldie. It's a pretty. My cat is um, he's staring outside the window right now, and I think he sees something he likes. Um, and he's knocking my mask around. That's funny. Anyway, this is a Flash and Green Lantern team up, and if you ever hear anyone telling you that DC Silver Age stories are crazy, they're not wrong. This one is pretty tame compared to, some of the stuff in like Action or the Jimmy Olsen books. But this is a story where there's like an illness that's going around that's making people disappear and shit. And, obviously Flash and Green Lantern are teamed up to solve the case. And their respective girlfriends, Iris West and Carol Ferris, they're trying to cover the story, like on the news and whatnot. And Hal and Barry are trying to do the physical task of solving everything. So you know eventually, by for some reason, Hal ends up disappearing himself, and Flash has to bear the Green Lantern ring to save his friend. Um, and this was also before, like, you couldn't just take a Green Lantern ring and put it on. Like, it had to, like, choose you. Or the owner himself or herself had to choose, you know, like this was before everything was like strict. So literally like anyone in theory could just take a Green Lantern ring and put it on. And that's what Flash did. Um, and he charged it up, and he saved the day or whatnot. But it's a good story. It's not the greatest thing on the planet, but I mean, it's a Silver Age Green Lantern story. I love this stuff. I'm a sucker for it. So I'm going to move this away from my cat so that he doesn't knock anything over. Uh, put these over here. Um, at the number five, sorry, number four spot here. This one's actually a very important book to my collection. This is, I just knocked my mask over. Wow. See, this is why my cat needs to calm down sometimes. This is Green Lantern Volume 5, Annual Number 1. Um, this is where the keys start coming in. This is the first appearance of the first Lantern, Volthoom, uh, like most powerful Lantern in existence in the entire universe and multiverse. He's the first person to wear a power ring. Um, this is a great book here. Um, and I was like looking for this book for like several months. Um, like I was looking for it for a long time. Because this is the last one I needed to complete my new 52 run. And I go to, my local Second and Charles with my brother. Sure enough, he finds it there. And I only paid $2 for it. And I can tell you right now, this book is not worth $2. It's not in like the greatest shape on the planet. It could be better. I could do without the spine ticks or whatever. But I usually just if the staples are there and the covers are attached, I'm all right with it. And there's no missing pages, I'm okay. And this is a complete book, so if I can get it for $2, may as well, right? Save some money there. Um, no, but this was the last one I needed. My brother was kind enough to find it for me because we were sifting through all these bins. This was the one thing I wanted to leave with, and I guess he had found it in a bin I already surfed through because I guess I suck at it. Um, but yeah, that was a very meaningful thing that he did. And I had him sign the card on the back that I usually do. Um, but yeah, really cool book right there. I'm glad that I own it. Um, but yeah, at the number three spot, this one, this one's kind of a big one here. Green Lantern Volume 2, Issue number 6. This is the first appearance of Tomar Ray. Hi, Kitty. I was very, very close between choosing this one, or the first Hector Hammond issue 5. I do have that one in my collection. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be bringing it up. But I was very close between those two because number 5 is my oldest Green Lantern. But Hector Hammond, he's cool and all. I like Hector Hammond, but I'm a big Green Lantern Alien fan, so I have to go with Tomar Ray. And he's also just one of the most like iconic Alien Green Lantern members out there. I was very happy when I found this book. Um, like I paid $50 for it. I mean, it's in pretty alright shape here. Um, but for a long time, for most of 2025, I believe this was my lowest Green Lantern. Um, just of all time. I mean, this came out in 1961 of March. And number 5 is not my oldest Green Lantern, so again, very tough decision to make there. But ultimately, I went with the first Tomar Ray. So that's cool. Um, in keeping in the theme of finishing runs, the number two spot, this is Green Lantern Volume 4, number 39. This is the first appearance of the Orange Lantern Corps, just that are all in constructs, because only Larfleeze can wear the green or the Orange Lantern ring. He appears in like issue 25. I do have that, obviously. But this was the last one I needed to finish out my Volume 4 run, written entirely by Jeff Johns, I believe. Um, just again, spectacular run. Please read it. If you're new to Green Lantern, or if you just want to read a really good story, 67 issues of just your just amazing Green Lantern content. You could also read the Rebirth miniseries that came out right before. That was 6 issues long, I believe. That's also really good. Great prelude to this run here. But this is just amazing. You get all the classic Silver Age villains coming back, and you get the Blackest Night event, which is the best DC event. But anyway, getting off topic here. This is the last book I needed to get to complete my Volume 4 run, and I got this during Heroes Con last year. I was so so happy. I think I overpaid a little bit, but at that rate, I mean, I obviously could afford it. And I just hadn't seen one ever in anyone's bins. This was, I want to say, one of my last, maybe, I don't think this was my last purchase of that day. It might have been, but um, it was after this. I remember I was like, what do I do now? Because I spent so much time looking for this run, I never even considered anything else. So I was like, I've been picking up New 52 books, on and off, so I may as well go ahead and finish that run. I was already like halfway there by the time I got this. And that's what I did with the annual number one. But great cover here. I had one of my friends sign the card for me on the back here. Um, but it's great. Amazing. And this final book here, this one means a lot to me in so many different ways. And we're getting into a long story here. I'm still very tired, and my voice is like starting to give out. I can like feel my throat kind of getting a little scratchy there. Um, but do you see something, buddy? That's just my door. But this one means a lot to me. So let's get into it here. This is Green Lantern Volume 3, Issue 50. This came out in 1994. To get the significances out of the way, um, first Kyle Rayner as Green Lantern, first Hal Jordan as Parallax, Death of Kilowog. Um, you know, this was, the final book in the Emerald Twilight saga, which lasted from issues 48 to 50. Um, and 48 is the first appearance of Kyle Rayner. 49 is an iconic cover. And I want to say that's also the death of Sinestro. I could be wrong. It's either this one or 49. But you know, as controversial as the storyline is, it's my personal favorite Green Lantern story because it's my favorite hero going insane. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like that, um, but I do. I like it. I think it's cool. Um, and I got this at my first annual Heroes Con 2022. Um, I did go in like 2018. That was my very first one, but I skipped out like 2019 through 2021 because I just couldn't afford to go. But 2022 to present time, I've been attending every Heroes Con show. But um, you know, I was hunting. It's a 3-day show for those who don't know. Usually on like Father's Day weekend, so I go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think this year it's going from like the 12th to the 14th. Um, but I was chatting up about Green Lantern to my folks, and how much I love this run, or this storyline. And you know, um, I was hunting for these books because I must have had 48. No, I had 49. I believe, already, and then I wanted to get 48 and 50. So I was able to get, 48. I had 49. I went over to Daryl Banks' booth, got him signed. That was the first time I ever met him, and he's such a kind person. If you got some Green Lantern books in your collection from this time period, and he did the art on them, get him signed. He's a great person, seriously. Um, and I spent like almost the entire show weekend trying to find issue 50. I just couldn't. I don't know if I was just wasn't looking in the right spots or what, but I just wasn't able to find it for some reason. So I kind of gave up a little bit and just started picking up some other books for myself. Um and I hear my phone ring, which is very rare because I usually don't keep my phone on at shows cuz I'm trying to be present in the moment usually. Um But I get a call. It's from my dad, and I'm like, oh, he probably like wants something from me, so I'll pick up, right? It's rude to not answer your parents. So he calls me. He's like, hey, Alex, I need you to come meet me at the middle of the con floor. So I was like, okay. And this was on like the last day of the show too. Um, so naturally I head over, um, like wondering what's gonna go on. And this is a story I'll never forget too. So that's why I'm like rambling about this. Um, and I walk up. Um, there he is holding this exact book as you see it. Um, and if you're curious, I believe this is the direct edition. Yeah, direct edition. But he's holding this book as you see it here, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, hold on now, this is signed and remarked. And he tells me the story. I'll never forget this. Um, you know, because I was talking to him about Darryl Banks and how much I loved his art. I have a couple of his prints on my wall, and I have a bunch of Darryl Banks Green Lantern books. Big collector. But I guess he had somehow found this book in one of the bins, um, and again, I don't know if I just was missing or something, but whatever. Anyway, he goes up to Darryl Banks and he's talking to him about how I was like singing his praises during one of the nights, and I guess he got so moved by just everything that I had to say. Um, like he got so emotional that he just had to personalize this book to me, and they tried getting a hold of me to figure out how to spell my name, which I don't care. I think that's hilarious. I mean, it's a little silly, yeah, but it's funny. It's funny. It adds humor to the story here, but you know, but obviously I usually keep my phone off, so I wasn't able to answer. And I kind of like that I didn't even know because it wouldn't have been as surprising to me back then. Um, but he took a gamble and he wrote to Alex, God bless, and signed his name there. Um, and this is just still like one of the most amazing things anyone has ever done for me. Um, and this is my absolute favorite Green Lantern book. um, just in my collection. I could own First Sinestro or the Green Lantern #1. Hell, I could own Showcase number 22, and it still wouldn't be as meaningful as this. It goes to show that it's stories like this, as to why I love this hobby so much, and I'm glad that I've started talking about it on my channel more, and sharing this stuff with you guys. I mean, like throughout the past like God, 7 years now that I've been like collecting comic books seriously. Um, there hasn't ever been a story quite like this. I usually tell people this story when I'm getting in, like introducing them to what I have or whatnot. And this is one that I always point out. Um, Having all the big keys is great and all. Like I said, I could own first Sinestro, first Hal Jordan, first Green Lantern solo story, or first Hal Jordan solo story. I can own all that. But if there's not a good story behind it, like there is with this, then, you know, it's not that meaningful. It's meaningful in the fact that I have it, but You can't put a good price on a story like that. I think that's 10 times worth anything that's graded. Um, but anyway, thank you so much for listening to my rambles, and thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. Um, I have a couple of other videos planned out for the future. I have a lot of stuff for this year. Um, so yeah, stay tuned. Um, I will talk to you guys later. Yeah, have a great rest of your day.